All right, okay. Hello and good morning, everybody. Hi, this is me, Darius Anucauskas from Easy Markets, and today is the 5th of November, 2024. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session, where we're gonna have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. Yep, so the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. Just by the way, I can see that Forex PK, no voice. Can you hear me? I mean, I can see that it's coming through. It's showing that it's coming through. The sound is okay. So just to double check if everything's loud and clear for everybody, just let me know again because again, it seems like uh, just a second. Mm-hmm. All right, okay. Can everybody hear me okay right now? Because as I understood, there we go. Some technical issues again from my side. Whenever I'm doing this one from home. Okay, can everybody hear me right now, ladies and gentlemen? I just wanted to double check so that I could continue, so that I wouldn't be just talking just randomly with myself here. And yeah, just can somebody confirm to me that they can hear me okay? Yeah. Uh, right. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Is there anybody who can confirm? Just a second, I need to double check something here as well. Okay, yes, this is running smoothly. Right, okay. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can hear me and see me well. Well, first of all, I can see that you can see me, but can you hear me? I think that you can hear me as well. Right. Okay. Look, I think that you can. I think that everything is running smoothly. So if somebody can confirm to me, that would be great. Look, before we, yes, jump into the charts, as always, I just want to quickly mention our Easy Markets. Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist. Let me just make a few adjustments here of the screen here. I think that's this way will be a little bit better. Right. So now then. Abiodun Olufemi, thank you very much. Wonderful. So as I understood the little promo video, the beginning did not have a sound. Okay, back to the drawing board. All right, okay, that's fine. We'll try to fix this one for next time. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a beautiful session today because we have beautiful information coming out. So yes, of course, the U.S. presidential elections are coming out. So we're going to pick up on that. But apart from that, we do have some other important data sets that came out. So everything in moderation, everything just slowly. I'll get to that, but also just wanted to mention that look, whenever it comes to trying to predict the market, sometimes things like options can help you out. So for those who know what options are, we do offer vanilla options, which you can have a look at. If this is a tool that suits you, I mean, you can for sure utilize that. We have those here, basically where you can potentially hedge yourself against any fluctuations. So check it out. Maybe you'll find it useful. Like I said, you can check it out here on our side. We mainly have those on currencies. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So there we go. So if you are trading any of the currencies, the top currencies, then options could be vanilla options could be quite interesting. So keep that in mind. Now, let's jump into the charts, ladies and gentlemen. So the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. Let me just make a few adjustments here. So yesterday I talked about it, and we're watching this one carefully, and I will probably fly through some of the instruments because I talked already about those yesterday, and just I'm going to mention what I said yesterday, but we are waiting for some news because from Japan this morning we didn't get much. We talking about Tuesday here. Then Wednesday we're getting the BOJ monetary policy meeting minutes. So tomorrow, Jibun Bank's composite and services PMI final. Something to keep in mind. On Thursday we get not much, and on Friday we get the household spending. So quite important data, I would say, but it might get overshadowed by everything which is happening in the U.S. The U.S. presidential elections and the Federal Reserve, which is coming out on Thursday. So now then, looking at this picture, yes, I mean the same idea is still valid. Where I'm waiting for a clearance of the 40,000 zone in order to go higher. For the downside, a drop below the 37,800 and 860 zone here is required. So let's keep an eye on this one, and yep, we'll go from there. Now China 50. Let's have a look at this one. Beautiful pop here, and there we go, clearing that 13,711 zone. I talked about it. That's the 50% here on the Fibonacci retracement, which is drawn from the lowest point of September to the highest point of October. And yep, we're popping back above the 50%. What's happening? Basically, data is happening, and we got the Caixin Services PMI number from China, and that came out at 52. So much better than the previous and the forecast. Yep, it basically pushed itself further away from the 50, from kind of potentially dropping into contraction territory. So long story short, for now I would say that with looking at the China 50 index, everything's looking quite good, but of course a lot will depend on the US elections and what kind of reaction will we get in the indices, which I will get to in a bit. I'm talking about the US indices, so I'll get to that in a bit. So yeah, for now, looking good. Let's see if we can stay above this 13,860, well, actually 13,687 zone, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Now then, ASX 200, ladies and gentlemen, looking good here, and basically ASX 200 is declining. Now, what's happening in Australia? Australia got the interest rate decision today, so this is where it's interesting that these important data sets are getting overshadowed by everything what's US related, and this whole presidential election, and yes, the Federal Reserve. So interest rate decision came out for 35. Yep, the same as expected. So basically, yeah, nothing major to say here, apart from the fact that they're keeping the rate as it is. So basically in line with what I said yesterday. Oh, Tabish, I can see you there in the chat room. Hi, good morning. Yes, so what I said yesterday, that it would be weird, or would be wrong in my opinion, to do either a cut or a hike just before the elections. They need to see first what's going to happen with the markets, and if we're going to get some sort of like action, either to the upside or to the downside. So I think that they did good, and the market did correct a little bit lower, which to be honest is fine. I think is just part of the following the U.S. indices, because those yesterday did decline a little bit. So it's all okay. It's still fine because look, we're still holding above this 8,150 zone here in the futures, and this area is providing strong support. My preferred downside scenario is from around here, from this 100-day EMA and a break of that 100-day EMA and this 8,080 zone. So if that gets cleared, yes, I will go lower. I will go towards that 200-day EMA, and then we'll go from there. So Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now let's have a look at what's happening here in the U.S. So far, the technicals are working because what I said to you previously that because we broke the upside line, there is a greater chance for this one to kind of move lower. So we're also below the 45-day EMA, which is fine, and kind of it's kind of increasing the chances for a move towards that 100-day EMA. And if that gets cleared, of course, we're going to go further south. But again, for now, let's not rush into things. So in terms of elections and for me, in a way, how I'm looking at it, doesn't matter who's going to win. I really want to see what how the market, accepts that. So something tells me that, despite who's going to win, I think we're going to see a bit of a decline and then maybe an explosion at some point later on. So once it settles down. So for now, in my opinion, that we could see. Like I said, I'll make this kind of crazy prediction, and I think that we might see a drop, correction lower, but then the market will pick up very quickly because let's face it, we're not gonna. I don't think that we will find the results straight away, like on Wednesday. But I think that it might take a while. There could be some countings and here and there. I think it could be messy, as always, right? So I think it could be messy, and I think it could be a little bit unclear initially. So prepare yourselves for a bit of maybe market volatility. Well, I didn't say something new here, but anyway, just throwing it again out there. Now, look, I will approach this, of course, also from the technical perspective, because looking at this picture, my preferred scenario to the upside is from this 42,680 zone. However, if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous than me, then you can keep an eye on the 45-day EMA. So if we do, let me just get rid of this upside line. I think we no longer need it. So if we do push back above the 45-day EMA, then yes, this could open the door to some higher levels, and hey, more upside here could come. Now, in terms of the downside, yes, 41,870 zone here is something that I'm watching. A nice good clearance of that could open the door to some lower levels, and aiming for that 100-day EMA, or maybe even the 200-day EMA later on. But let's see. Like I said, that's why I'm kind of considering maybe a bit of a retracement first, and then maybe a drop, and then maybe a rally again. Again, this is pure speculation. Honestly, don't take my word for it, because this is just something that I'm looking at and the way the market is, and I have to admit there is a little bit of element of feeling in there, but I normally tell people, do not kind of run your trades on feelings, because that is incorrect. So that's why I'm not really taking any action. Let's say I have this feeling, yes, but I'm not going to take any action because I cannot justify it. And so what's okay, if there is something that I'm willing to lose in case this is a pure gamble, and if I'm willing to lose that amount, then maybe yes. But in general, if you're not prepared to lose that certain amount of money, then just probably wait for the markets to to settle down, to get that first reaction, and then do something about it. But even then, I keep on telling people that when you enter the market, you actually enter with an amount which you're already prepared to lose. So if you cannot kiss that money goodbye, then do not enter the market. that's how it works. But otherwise, you're going to be shaking, stressing, and your fear of loss is going to just overshadow everything. So Tabish, I have a question. I have never been in the forex market at the time of the U.S. elections before. Can you tell us what should we expect today, like in volatility or something else to keep in mind? So, and then also Thomas, hey, good morning. I can see you there in the chat room. Thank you very much for tuning in, and long time no see. But Tabish, coming back to your question, basically, with the forex world, it's well, of course, I'll get to the forex world in a bit, but with the forex world, it's again, it's the same story, it's the same volatility. You're gonna have US dollar, which is gonna be like probably jumping around, or eventually it will take one direction, but then maybe something else will come up because you don't know. In this case, we really don't know what's going to come up, and we could see, the other thing happening. For example, U.S. dollar could rally strongly on the news. We could see, a spike. It's going to be like one-way traffic, and everybody's like, hey, let's jump into the U.S. dollar, and then boom, on Thursday the Fed comes in and says, you know what, we're going to do some cuts, maybe more than 25 basis points, and there we go. We killed the dollar a little bit, and it drifts back down. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is what you need to kind of keep in mind, and also the elections will have a knock-on effect on the Japanese yen, because if the stock market corrects lower, the Japanese yen may attract interest because it's a safe haven, and that's what I'm saying. So Euro USD, for example, could be a bit of a volatile pair. It could be up and down, could be undecided. In terms of other, let's say, pairs like Euro GBP, those could be just, up and down. But look, I'll get to Forex in a bit. Let me go through the indices, and then I'll try to keep this session a little bit shorter, because I think I already mentioned a lot of things which you already know. But hey, let's see how Dow is looking here. So Dow, yes, like I said, I'm from the technical perspective, I'm keeping an eye on this one. But as I keep on saying, just be careful, be cautious at the moment. Like I said. Let's say, like I said, I'm giving my prediction. Again, it's just a thought. It's just something which is not based on anything apart from just maybe looking at historic events. Maybe we could see like a correction, a strong correction lower, a test of this maybe 40,000 zone or something like that, and then a rebound back up. So what I'm looking at here is I do like this little territory here, but again, it's not, like I said, it's not something that you need to follow for sure. It's just something that I'm throwing out there. Hey, let's see if this is going to work out or not, because it's just purely out of curiosity. So the thing that you can do here as well is look at the S&P. The S&P is looking quite bearish, to be honest, and that's where also my downside scenario is kind of coming in, because the S&P looks a little bit bearish and looks like a bearish flag. So it's holding above this 5,733 territory. So if that gets cleared, I'm going to go lower towards my 100-day EMA, or even better, the 200-day EMA. Let me just put this one right there. That's the one. That's the one. 5,411. I like that area. But again, we have to see a lot of clearance first. Nasdaq is also looking a little bit more bearish. Look at this. I mean, everything's. If you just leave it purely for the technicals and ignore everything, let's say what's happening today, then hey, I will say it's the bearish scenario here. It's the downside scenario which is dominant. So yep, if we do get a clearance of that 20,000 zone, guess what? I'm leaning towards the downside, and maybe even all the way, not only this 100-day EMA, which is actually a good area of support, the potential support in this 19,860 zone, but I'm also leaning towards that test of that 200-day EMA, and then we could see maybe a bit of a rebound at some point later on. But again, maybe that rebound could be left for the Fed. Not saying anything, but just like I said, throwing it out there. Let's jump into the German index DAX. Let's see what's happening here. Also, a similar story. Everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen. We're currently oscillating around the 45-day EMA, so not much. So basically, just the same analysis is valid as yesterday. I am looking at the I'm looking at the 19,412 territory right here for the upside. Well, again, with the upside, the problem is here is that this push here, if we do push higher, then yes, it may increase the chances for a little bit of a move higher. But why I'm saying a little bit of a move higher is because we have this little downside line here, which could be a little bit in the way. So do not rush into things, ladies and gentlemen. Just take it, take everything with a pinch of salt, and just go slowly. So for now, long story short, on the DAX, I'm waiting for a drop below the 19,000 zone in order to consider lower levels. But for the upside, yes, a push above the 19,412 could be nice. Let's keep an eye on this one. Let's jump into the FTSE 100 very quickly. By the way, let's have a look. What else is happening today in Europe? So, okay, UK Global Services PMI final number that's coming out. That's interesting. New car sales. That's what I'm curious about because, okay, there trade balance, Canada and US, very important. Let's have a look at that one. But at the moment, Canada is kind of close, tight to its previous number. US trade balance decreases. Okay, so importing a little bit more than exporting. Right. Okay. Now then, look, yeah. For now, it's just it's still on the downside. I mean, it has been for a while, and I don't think that it's gonna change or anything. But we're seeing how much it changes in relation to its previous number. President Lagarde speaking today. Okay, and the U.S. Let's not forget the Global Services PMI final number is coming out. So this is going to be an ISM Services PMI. This is very important. So look, last week the manufacturing PMI, the ISM manufacturing PMI, was a disaster. It came out lower again, and yes, it was a bit of a failure. We're looking at carefully at the ISM Services PMI because if we do see a drop all the way closer to the 50, to the number 50, then that could actually support the downside scenario, my downside scenario in the indices. Let's see. But if it comes out higher, let's say for example it comes out somewhere around the same level. You know what? With the indices on the S&P, for example, on the Dow, we could remain at flat and just wait for for the U.S. election. So just keep that in mind. I mean, this is, like I said, this is quite important. And also API crude oil stock change. This is coming out for those who are trading oil. Now, coming back to the FTSE 100, the same story. Everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen here. Beautiful in general, beautiful rebound from the 200-day EMA. This is all working out nicely. We're stuck above, in between the EMAs. I'm just observing the price action. Okay, I'm cautiously bullish because we climbed back above this 8,177 zone, but still, just to be a little bit on the safe side due to the weird day that we're going to be getting today. U.S. dollar index very quickly. So a little bit of a roller coaster ride here, up and down, up and down. So this a 103.70 zone, we can actually get rid of it, no longer needed. Look, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a very, very conservative approach here, and I'm going to just keep my eyes on this barrier here on the upside, the 104.50. If that gets cleared, I'm gonna go higher. For the downside, a drop below the 23.6. I know that we could be missing out on a bit of territory here, but look, I just gonna take, like I said, keep my eyes on the 103.42 zone, somewhere around here-ish. That's the 23.6. A nice drop below that could open the door to some lower levels. But the problem with the lower levels I have here are the EMAs. So one of those could provide support, so maybe we could not even end up going towards that 38.2. So now then, let's jump into the commodity world. Gold, looking good. Look at this. Talk about playing the waiting game. Look at this. Look at this area here. This 2,727, 28 zone, which is basically the low of, is it last week? Yeah, last week. The low of last week. Yes, so basically we're still holding above that. And I said to you yesterday, if we do clear it, I'll go a little bit more towards the downside. So at least for a larger correction back down. Well, at the moment we're observing the price action. I'm not really getting anywhere here. So long story short, what I want to do here is I want to wait. I want to wait and see. If we can get a nice clearance below the 2,728 zone, that's wonderful. But then my question is, if we get below this hurdle, can we, test this upside line? Most likely. But then the other question is this not going to be like a moment where we could actually break it and go for a larger correction? Well, that's a question to answer for time. So we'll have to wait for this one. Nobody knows for sure what's going to happen, though. So we only can try to how to say it? We can only try to manage our expectations and try to potentially position ourselves correctly and protect ourselves. There we go. That's the most important word in all this: protect yourselves. With gold, unfortunately, I mean, of course, we don't know as well what kind of outcome we're going to get, but if we do drop from the technical perspective, if we do drop below this 2,728 zone, I will lean a little bit more towards the downside. And then my question is, can we rebound from this upside line? If we can, amazing. And then I'll go from there. Silver. Silver is also doing the same thing, so it's stuck. It's, yeah, I mean, it's, okay, let me just adjust this upside line. There we go. It's stuck, and basically we're waiting for it to make a move, so, hey. For now, it's looking a little bit more bearish than bullish. But again, we need that clearance. We need that confirmation. Let's see. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play it a little bit more safer. I will wait for a drop below the 45-day EMA right here, the red line. And if it can clear it, wonderful. I'll get a little bit more excited with the downside. Let's jump into, palladium. Just a quick glance. Okay, so far, amazing. I love this. I love this metal. I love this commodity, honestly. Look at this, how technical it is. 1,122, I talked about it, said, look, if we clear it, I'm going to go lower. So far, we're doing a good job. Now the question is, can we reach this upside line? Or is this the 45-day EMA? Was this enough? Again, slowly, let's not rush into things, and let's just keep an eye on all this. And of course, yes, if we do push back above the 1,122 territory, I'll consider maybe a possible move higher, but at the moment, it's all to the downside. Oil. Oil pushing back up. Looking good, oil. Pushing back above the $70 mark. So now the question is, like I said, we're approaching this area again. Basically, we're flat for the year. This is the opening price of oil for this year, this thick line. So we're flat right now, almost. And the question is, where are we going to end at the end of the year? We still have 2 months left of trading. Will it be positive for the year, or will it remain negative? Something tells me that we could end up negative, but hey, let's not rush into things. Again, is this a nice, beautiful head and shoulders pattern? Previously, I looked at this as a beautiful head and shoulders pattern, but then it did work out, but just for a little bit. It tested this area, and then now we're seeing a rebound. Okay, that's fine. I'll take that. Now, if we're looking for some lower levels, I would prefer to wait for a drop below the 66.72 territory, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. The upside scenario, it's not off the table, but again, some clearance is needed, and like I said, I'll keep an eye on that 72 zone. If that gets cleared, then of course I'm going to keep an eye on the 100-day EMA shown as the green line here, and then we'll go from there. So let's jump into natural gas. Beautiful rebound back up. Okay, that's fine. So it's a little bit tricky here. Natural gas, in a way, could pick up if Trump wins, in my opinion, because that guy is all about fracking and all that stuff. So This might pick up if he wins, so keep your eyes on this one. Yeah, I mean, look, in general, I mean, this has been, has declined a lot, and we have been near our lows, near historic lows, near 1.5. So now we're pushing back up, or at least trying to. So maybe, hey, maybe we could squeeze something out of it. Let's see. For now, I am leaning. Well, I would say I'm cautiously bullish. Let's put it this way. I'm cautiously bullish. My favorite sugar. Where's my favorite sugar? There we go. Beautiful. At the moment, so far so good. Correction lower, so that's fine. I've repeated myself several times about sugar, and I will say the same thing again. I'm watching this falling channel. While we remain inside of it, we could still drift lower. However, do not forget that this is part of a bigger picture, which potentially could be a bullish flag. Let's jump into the crypto world, ladies and gentlemen, and Bitcoin. So pushing back up, or at least trying to. But the problem is that we fell back into the falling channel. And okay, look, maybe this is going to ignore it. Maybe it's going to push back up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to keep an eye on this $70,000 mark, and if we can clear it, I will go to the upside. Yep, pretty much simple as that. For the downside, well, the downside is kind of at this point a little bit more likely, but we need to continue to trade below the upper side of the falling channel. If we can do that, then yes, I'll consider a move lower. Bitcoin Cash, so far so good, rebounding from this upside line, which is fine. Okay. The question is now, can we see a larger rebound here, or actually is this upside line going to get clobbered and we're going to get a move further south? Well, that's the question to ask time about this. So we'll have to wait and see. But look, for me, the upside scenario, and I'm trying to find some sort of logic here, but I cannot honestly. So if I cannot find any logic there, that means there is none. So that means that we need to find something else. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to approach this from the simplistic way, from the simplistic side, is that if I'm going to see a push above all my EMAs, I'm going to start considering the upside, period. Ethereum, let's have a look at this one, pushing back up, or at least trying to. But the thing is, the problem is that we broke the upside line, and hey, 2,308 zone could be the next, but unless if we start pushing back above the 45-day EMA and this upside line. Litecoin is a little bit tricky. Yes, it drifted lower yesterday, but as you can see now, recovering a little bit. Which is fine. Look, again, the same story. I'll get a little bit more positive with this one if we do push above all my EMAs. For now, there's a chance still to drift lower. Dogecoin, this one is on fire. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is just crazy. Like I said, the Elon coin, and it seems like if he's going to win, if Trump's going to win, then, maybe Dogecoin could benefit here. Let's keep an eye on this because this is quite interesting. Now, let's jump into the Forex world, ladies and gentlemen. AUD, USD. Wow, now this is interesting. So, yesterday I think I had a little bit of a glitch on the platform, on my platform. So, but now you can see it's better. So basically, it's pushing above my downside line, which is great. Now it seems like we could be okay. We already aimed for this 0.6622 territory. We kind of managed to reach that area, so that's amazing, fantastic. What's next? Basically, if we're going to clear this hurdle, I'm leaning towards the upside, but only up until my EMAs, the 200, the 45-day, and the 100. And then we'll go from there. For the downside, a drop below the 0.6537 here is required. If we can get that drop, amazing. More sellers here could join in. Long story short, for now, that's what I'm going to stick to. If we can push above the 0.6622, I will consider a move a little bit to the upside here, but only up until here. For the downside, yes, as I said, a drop below the lowest point of October would be required. AUD JPY, so my favorite one. I'm watching this one, and guess what? This is also waiting for an explosion. So we are just kind of getting into a bit of a squeeze. You can see my EMAs here are one on each other, and yeah, it's just getting squeezed. So we're waiting for a pop of some sort. I'm gonna get a little bit more comfortable with the upside if we do push above the 101.40 zone right here. For the downside, a drop below the 99.09 area here. Or actually, you know what? Even better, I think we could actually keep an eye on this little hurdle, this low of the 31st of October, near the 99.5. So a drop below that may attract a few more sellers into the game. Tabish, I can see you there. NZD USD, good one, good one. By the way, coming back a little bit to the pairs here. As we know, we got the interest rate decision, right, from the RBA. But did we get any action? No, because nobody gives a damn right now about that. Because, and this is, like I said yesterday, it's a good decision what the RBA did, that they did not go for any cuts or hikes, because it would be just a little bit messy, and yeah, it would be. Let's get that election out of the way. Let's get the Fed out of the way, and then I think the RBA is free to, do whatever they feel like doing. And okay, and this is what we're getting here. You see, so it's a little bit illogical. So for now. Well, actually, maybe not actually illogical. No, it's just it's okay. It's just not reacting to the fact that the RBA came out with a rate neither cut nor hike. But yeah, coming back to NZD USD, this one's interesting as well. Ooh, I think I have to remove everything. Some of this worked out, some of this didn't, so it's a total mess. It did work out and it did not work out. So you know what, let's try to apply a simple approach here. Okay, purely from the technicals, ignoring everything was fundamental, this looks somewhat positive because we're getting a possible break here of this little short-term tentative, again I have to repeat myself, tentative downside line taken from the high of the 7th of October. So if we can stay above it, maybe we could actually end up moving back to the these EMAs here, the 45-day, the 100, and the 200-day EMAs, and then we'll go from there. So at the moment, that's the case. For me, to consider the downside scenario, pretty straightforward. I need to see a drop below the lowest point of October, and then I'll do something about it. 0.5940, great number. Then we could aim for this one right here, this area. Not exactly this level, but more of an area around these two levels. Oh, basically 0.5850 could be, yes, a nice good target. Let's and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody else has any questions, let me know. I will pick up on that. So yes, I want to pick up on USD JPY very quickly. So this one's a little bit of a taking a pause. It's taking a pause, and I think that yes, we understand why. We need some sort of action, or we need some sort of a result from the elections. Well, some sort of results, a win either from one candidate or not. And actually, the best thing here would be just to get straightforward, like who won, tell us who won, not to go into all this like politics, and which probably most likely will happen. They're gonna debate, oh, we don't agree here, I think there were violations, and look, the violations have not happened yet, but they already have prepared the accusations for violations of there was some fraud in voting in places and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. So I would like to, like I said, I would like to get like the results straight away. Hey, tell me who won. Fantastic. I can get, I can get over it, and I can just continue living my life. But I think that this is what the markets also want. But of course, we're gonna get a show, yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I said it in the beginning of this session as well that in a way you can protect yourselves with looking at vanilla options here, and those basically are yes, those are opportunities for you. If you are trading currencies, then you can have a look at those. I mean, basically just like protecting, entering, a possible trade and protecting yourself in case it goes continue. If you're in, let's say, in profit right now, and if you're thinking maybe it's going to reverse, but you don't know, you don't want to, you can enter these option trades, and basically you can this way. I mean, you lose your minimum, but the potential to win is greater. Again, if we get strong volatility, so keep that in mind. USD JPY, like I said, waiting for a drop below the 50% here on the Fibonacci retracement, which is drawn, by the way, from the highest point of July to the lowest point of September, waiting for a drop below that 50% in order to consider a move lower. And this 150.77 zone is something that I'm watching. For the upside, 61.8 is something that I want to keep an eye on here. That's for the upside. If we can clear that, wonderful. 153.40 is a good target to consider. And let's jump into USD CAD. So far so good. Looking good here. Yes. What's happening here? Something is right. Okay, so we failed to go all the way there towards that 140 zone, which I talked about, but that's fine. It's okay. We're drifting back down, so because look, oil is US dollar is a little bit unclear. Oil is picking up the pace. That's what you're getting here on USD and USD CAD. We're getting some strength here in the Canadian dollar, or maybe even actually weakness in the US dollar, and basically USD CAD is drifting a little bit lower. So from the technical, what I said before, that if we do drop below the 1.39 zone, I'm leaning towards the downside, and in a way, so far, I think that could be the case here. If this has been the top here, so look, 23.6, I think it's a good target to aim for. Let's maybe stick to that one for now. Yep, that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Looking at the pound pairs, so GBP, JPY very quickly. Yep, still stuck. So still waiting for clearance through one of these levels, through one of these barriers. For the upside, 199.50. For the downside, 195.86-ish. And then we'll go from there. GBP USD, very quickly. Yes, we're watching this carefully. Looking interesting. I would say I would love to see this one popping higher, but again, I cannot say that because I need the confirmation clearance. 1.3045 is something that I'm going to watch here for the upside. If we can get a nice clearance of that one, great. I will go to the upside. For the downside, a drop below the 1.2907 here is needed. But at the same time, actually, a drop below the 200-day EMA would be great. Let's jump into the Euro pairs, and I'm going to wrap it up here, ladies and gentlemen. So Euro GBP, so this one is stuck. I think it could have a reaction, but again, this is a total like coin toss, honestly. This is a total coin toss, and yeah, just going to observe the price action. I'm not going to touch it. For me, I'm going to get, let's say, more comfortable with the downside if we do drop somewhere below this 0.8310 zone. And then, yeah, we could go from there. And finally, Euro USD. This one's, yes, flirting with that 1.09 area. Okay, that's all fine. Look, this worked out beautifully. I talked about it previously. I said that if we do rebound from this upside line, we could go back to the 1.09. Amazing. But now, look, I think that there is a chance maybe for something like this to happen. Like a reversal back down, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait for a drop below the 1.0870 here, which is around the 23.6 on my Fibonacci retracement, which is drawn from the highest point of September to the lowest point of October. So if we do fall back below the 23.6, I'm going to consider a move back down towards this upside line. For the upside, I would prefer to wait for a push above this barrier right here. 1.0935-ish. I mean, okay, look, we could start already looking at some higher levels if we do push above the 200-day EMA, which is roughly around the 1.0908. But if you don't feel you're not feeling comfortable with that because of these EMAs, which could provide a bit of resistance, then certainly yes, just wait for that clearance, and we can go kind of from there. So long story short, just probably it's easier to wait for a push above the 38.2 somewhere here and then kind of consider a larger move to the upside here. Now, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for this quick session. I tried to keep it short and simple because, again, a lot of things that I already talked about in my previous webinars. So yes, thank you very much, everybody, for your questions. Let's see. Again, like I said, that's why I didn't want to spend too much time talking about all this, because unfortunately I don't want to get this. Well, not unfortunately, I just don't want to get you this. How to say it, idea in your heads that there you can predict something. You can some things you might predict. Some are going to be like a pure gamble. Honestly, if somebody might say, so I can see already a lot of people going like, I think that the dollar is going to rally, and yeah, let's say it rallies, okay, and then yeah, you see, it was straightforward. It was clear. After the fact, then yes, I mean, everybody's, great after the fact. Everybody, if you get it right. So that's what I'm saying. This, you need to remove this level of smugness if you have it, and you just try to avoid it. Try to kick it out. Try to wait for the numbers to for the numbers. Yeah, for the numbers to come out, and then we'll go from there. Because at the moment it's very unclear looking at this presidential election here. So far, I mean, let me just update this. So far, it seems like national here, the Harris is leading. Trump is very close. So, yeah, it's a close call, because some here are, some are more Democrat. Some states are more Democrats and more Republican. So, Wyoming here looking good. Texas here. Let me see the most Nebraska district. There we go. Who's the biggest Trump supporters? Yeah, it seems like it's Nebraska. So, look, for now, I would say this way, that it's really interesting what's going to happen here, and we really don't know. And yeah, display polls that include third-party candidates. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, it would be really interesting to see one day. Like, I mean, if these elections are called democratic, I mean, it's choosing between two all the time. I mean, there are other people in here as well. So, but nobody cares about that as well. It seems like that, but it's a shame, actually. I think it's not very democratic. But anyway, it's everybody's opinion. It's my own. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, I hope, like I said, you're gonna approach markets in caution today. Like I said, try to do everything what you can to protect. If you are entering a trade, then try to do everything to protect yourselves. Remember that sometimes, I don't know, depending on who you're trading with, but sometimes you can, your stop loss might not get triggered where you want it to get triggered, and this is where sometimes, we do have this option in easy markets where you have a guaranteed stop loss, so for an extra premium, but yeah, there is something like that. So look, consider this. I mean, like I said, that something might, shake up, and and try to, like I said, that's why I try not to be maybe before, unless I am willing to, lose that amount of money just to gamble, just to see how it's gonna go, and yeah, and then go from there. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll pick up on this tomorrow. So yes, tomorrow, 7 o'clock GMT time, as always. We're going to jump into the Daily Pitch International session again live. So with me, Darius Anucauskas. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you very much, everybody, for your participation. So as always, stay safe, have your stop losses in place, risk only what you can afford to lose, don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. And I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully we'll know the results, and hopefully, it will be something to talk about. But look, if it's not going to be the elections, there's plenty of data to talk about. So let's keep an eye on that one. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.